Already. So these last few videos, we've been really looking at discipline, and I got a few more things that I'd like to touch on before we move to the next subject, especially since I'll be heading home in well, 2 days. So it only makes sense that we just end out on a bang. And in this video, I want to teach you a really important skill, which is like the 2 minutes to start any task and really just keep on going on through it. I mean, imagine as a guy, you start something, which is easy. We start stuff all the time, but how often do we really proceed and continue with that task, diligently and complete it to its fullest extent? Well, if you think about it, we spend more time not starting tasks than actually fulfilling them and completing them to the fullest extent. Howdy, my name is Nolte Painter, and in today's video, I'm going to tell you the truth about discipline and how we can really abuse this 1 to 2 minute rule to really get any work done. Now, first of all, I just have to tell you, starting work is always the hardest. I mean, I love this analogy. Think of it this way. Let's say you've gone to the gym for like 10 years straight, every morning, like guaranteed, just magically. Tomorrow morning, would you go to the gym? Probably. But if you've never gone before, would you want to go in the morning? I mean, you could want to, but would you? I don't know. It's a little risky there. So momentum really makes it easy to keep on going, whereas starting stuff is hard. That's why I always respect people who others would say are underneath me or haven't started yet. Obviously, I don't like to think of people as underneath me. That is absolutely wrong and completely arrogant. But necessarily, there are people who haven't started yet. Whether it's discipline, whether it's trying to stop their bad habits, whether it's trying to start up a business or get better grades in school. And I don't blame them. It's hard. Everything is designed to pull you back, so it's only natural. And we take for granted the idea of having momentum. If your parents taught you to do soccer every Sunday, then it makes sense if you got pretty good at the game because you had a lot of help for it and you've just been doing it so naturally. So I really respect the first-time gym goers or the kids who are really pushing for better grades in school because it's really hard to start. But why is this? Well, let's just pause for a moment. Men fail, and we know this, because they think discipline is about finishing tasks, right? Well, discipline isn't about finishing tasks, just like success in life isn't about not failing. Discipline is really about starting the task. Think about it. I just told you it's the hardest part of your day being starting the task rather than continuing with where you've left off. I mean, it's easy. If you have 1% left and then you're done, that 1% is easier than looking at this picture with 100% left to be done. So your brain resists large tasks, but it will accept, a small identity consistent action. So if you think you're going to do this, then you're likely to do it. For example, a professional swimmer is likely to go swimming, a long distance runner is likely to hit a treadmill, and a gym bro is likely to go to the gym. So you are and you do what you believe you are. So I highly recommend being a man who says, I believe I'm going to complete tasks and do work and be disciplined such that I start work, rather than being a man who doesn't do anything. But that's within like the first 0 to 20 seconds, right? The first 0 to 20 seconds of starting a task. You want to finish it. You want to really crack down on it, but it's hard to start. It's hard to really get into that flow state. Not because you need special music, not because you're in the flow state mind, but just because it's challenging to start something. It's like you're looking up a wall and you don't even know where to look. Especially with, difficult or complex schoolwork where the rubric is all over the place. Why would you want to start if you have to look at this unimaginably complicated rubric? Now, take everyday activities. There's no rubric for going to the gym. There's no rubric with learning how to love someone. There's no rubric with getting over a breakup or a job loss or a loss of money. So where do you start? And that's when we get into the next step. We got to really look at this rule, this 2-minute rule. And you know what the 2-minute rule is? Simply, I don't care. I'm going to start anyways. Because I know if I've started for 2 minutes, I would have had it down. Maybe not completed, maybe not finished to the way you would have liked, but if you just push yourself into something without any understanding for 2 minutes, you will have the understanding. Just let me give an example. Let's say you have a school assignment with this humongous rubric that is very difficult to understand. Just a lot of rules, a lot of little details, a lot of steps where you have to do them all at the same time. And you're like, this is too difficult. I don't want to do it. So you put it off. But let's say you say, screw it. Screw it, this is stupid. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm going to spend 2 minutes reading the rubric and writing down what I think the rubric wants me to do. That way you understand it a little bit. If you take 2 minutes to at least try, you might not understand it. You might have made no progress, but you started, and now you have a bit of an idea of how to work around the rubric. So given this example, you have one student who had nothing to do with the rubric and didn't know what to do with it, and you have another student who worked a little bit, and let's say he understands 25% of it or 50% of it in the 2 minutes he spent studying it. He might have not even started the task that the rubric's based on, but now he actually understands what the teacher's looking for, which makes it so much easier to start. And he was in the same place as the other guy. He had no idea what he was doing. He didn't know when to start, and he kept on telling himself, I'll start it tomorrow, I'll start it tomorrow, because he wanted to feel ready. But the truth is, this 2-minute rule isn't about whether you're ready or not, it's whether if you're willing to do the work. He was willing to do the work, so even though he wasn't ready for it, he just did it, and now he's closer and more likely to complete it. Now take this rubric and apply it to anything. Talking to a lady, or trying to make money, or a business deal, or applying for a job. You're never ready for it. Never. If you keep on waiting until you're ready, you never will. You're only ready when you actually started it and realized it wasn't so bad. You have to be willing. And then this 2-minute rule also applies to the little things, right? I know these big giant rubrics and talking to ladies and trying to explore yourself. These are very large and broad topics. But 2-minute rules really love to apply to smaller things, intricate things like cleaning your room or cleaning the toilet, or just some small tasks that are so negligible within your day in the grand scheme of things, but we still put aside because they seem too big for our minds. So if it takes less than 2 minutes for you to start, you'll do it immediately, right? Why wait? Why try to battle it when you can just get it over with? So think of books too. Reading a book is a big deal, especially if it's a huge book, right? Take like the entire series of the Harry Potter, or better yet, take like a Bible. That's a big book. You're not going to read that in 2 minutes, but you can read a page in 2 minutes. So just read a page, right? If you're going to sit on the floor, do a couple push-ups. It takes 2 minutes to do 5 push-ups, right? Maybe write one sentence in a bibliography or in a school paper that you have to write. Who cares if you wrote the whole thing? Who cares if you got no progress done? At least you opened up the document and you wrote a sentence. That is miles better than nothing. Like miles better. You have to be gracious with yourself, right? So maybe in your room, just clean a little bit. And once you clean a little bit, well, you'll want to finish the job naturally, right? If you want to start running, well, then just walk around for a couple seconds. Who cares? Just make it easy. Start a little bit. You don't read a book by going end to end. You read a book by going letter to letter. So this identity training, this working your mind around tasks, makes it way easier to be productive. And it encourages yourself to think, I'm a good man who does good work. How are you able to do work? How can you force yourself to do work if you don't think you're capable of doing it? But if you do all these good things and you actually build this trust with yourself, which is essential to becoming a good man, then you'll have more faith in doing the big tasks. Like, let's say if you want to make $1 million, if you can't even make $5, or you don't think you can make $5, how do you think you can make $1 million? So you have to do easy little things. Let's say you make 5 cents off of stock trading. 5 cents. That's not much, but it proves you know what you're doing and you have a concept to work around. That's better than nothing at all. And here's why it works. It's a combination of your masculinity and a bit of psychology. A masculine psychology that's built around competitiveness and trying. Because men don't lack ability, but we lack accountability to be momentous towards our work. And momentum is a masculine trait. The idea of going and snowballing and keep on going and going and going. That's how you get these super rich big YouTubers making these finance guru videos, and you're like, okay, I appreciate, the advice, but how do I actually get to your level? You don't get to their level by just copying their videos. You have to do all the work that led up to it. They're only able to be there and make those videos because they snowballed and because they had the momentum. But that came all the way back years ago to that identity that they had to create by doing tiny little things. And stuff like this helps. After all, the 2-minute rule, or the essential idea of starting little tiny habits that snowball your life by 1% changes, start from atomic habits. I mean, it says if you spend a year starting at 1 point and going 1% better, you'll be 37 times better by the end of the year. But likewise, if you get 1% worse every day for a year, you'll be almost at 0. So you got to create a bit of a self-respect, and you have to create this authority around yourself saying, I can do it. After all, if teachers tell you to do work, your job tells you to work hard, and your parents tell you to join this thing, then you're likely to do it. But if you can't tell yourself that you're able to do the work, then how can you ever listen to yourself when you're alone? Which oftentimes is where you end up as a man. So this is where you find that identity creates a man. But our identity shifts. Think of it. You might have an identity now, but it might not be the healthiest identity. Let's say you lust or you just struggle with some things. Or you know what? Let's say you're a man in a relationship and you tried your hardest to do some good things, but people look at you as this very rotten man. I can relate to that one. That's your identity. So, how can you work around that identity and shift it to be the identity you want to be? Like the man who's good in relationships, like the man who has good advice, like the young kid on the internet who's got a bit of wisdom and just wants to help people, right? And that's where you find yourself, your own authority, like I had mentioned earlier. Men say, I want to get disciplined, but real men say, I'm the man who takes action. So stop saying, I want to do this, and start being the man who says, oh, actually, I already did it because I did it before. Or, you know what, I'm going to do it tomorrow. Or, you know what, I'm going to get her done now because I want to do this. Stop being the man who says, I want to start swimming, and be the man who says, I want to take first place. You have to push yourself. Push yourself so far that losing isn't an option. Not because you can't afford to lose, but because you desire so much to win. Keep in mind though, life's not about winning. Life's actually equally about losing. Failures make a man so special. If I didn't fail so much as a man and get absolutely abused by everyone I know just as much as I have been, I wouldn't be here today, taking what people would consider victories day in day. But the truth is, men need to fight some of their largest battles day and night, just so that way they're able to become the true men that they are in the future. So it helps to have a healthy identity, to say, I'm the man who starts. I'm the man who does this work. I'm the man who gets up and runs every day. I'm the man who learns languages. I'm the man who goes to the gym this many times a week, or does kickboxing, or has learned to love, or has learned to forgive the people who hurt him. I'm the man who reads books. I'm the man who learns about religion. You tie your life to your manhood and your leadership and your identity. And your identity is based on action. So if you can at least set your identity somewhere that looks nice, certainly action should follow. Of course, though, I encourage you to do one thing. Whatever it is. Pick up a book. Do a couple push-ups right now. Hell, I'll lead by example. I have a book right here I'm willing to read, and I'll do push-ups right now. I'll do 10 push-ups right now, just to show you how simple it is. Not to prove some sort of argument or point or to shame you, but to show you that it is possible, that you can stop what you're doing instantly, no matter how embarrassing it is or how ridiculous you look, and just do 10 push-ups. As simple as it is in my stupid bedroom. Even do one hand, right? And there you go. Fast or slow, who cares? You're certainly better than the man 5 minutes ago when he was doing no push-ups. Overall though, what you need to take away from this video is that life is big, so it helps to make things small and grasp them just 2 minutes at a time. My name is Nolan T. Painter. I hope you learned something watching this video, and I pray that you can implement these changes into your life, no matter how ridiculous it makes me or you look. I love you, God loves you even more, and I promise you I'll see you tomorrow.